Moe's. I should have checked for this guy at Moe's. Here's your look at the brand new Jakks Pacific. This is the Simpsons Lenny. Collect your favorite cartoon characters from the Simpsons TV series with the newest wave of the Simpsons 5-inch scale figures featuring basic articulation. These iconic characters from the Simpsons are sure to please cartoon lovers and collectors alike. Well, it's nice that the Springfield's nuclear power plant technical supervisor has shown up. Although I have to admit, though, Lenny has been a hard figure to find. Sure enough, though, I ended up ordering this one from Amazon, and even at Amazon's prices, this guy was well over $40. Other than being a little harder and rarer to find, let's go ahead and take the tape measure, though, and see how tall Lenny actually stands. We have a Lenny yet, but we don't seem to have a Carl. And it just seems weird the way that they've kind of placed around these figures in the various 2.5-inch scale and then the 5-inch variety that you're looking at here. Either way, though, Lenny is going to stand at almost 5 inches in height. That works out, though, to be a figure that's about 12.5 centimeters tall. As for the other figures that made up this wave, here's what the figure looks like with Home Run Homer, even though really the packaging only calls him Homer. Here's also Marge, Midge if you prefer, and here's also Milhouse. A Marge and a Milhouse, and of course we got ourselves Lenny. A nice looking wave, but again, like when you think of the fact that when we've got like Comic Book Guy and Grandpa Simpson that were part of wave 3 of the 2.5-inch scale, it just seems so strange. Like even the Ned Flanders. Ned Flanders has only made one appearance in the wave 1 releases of the 2.5-inch scale, and we haven't yet gotten ourselves a Ned Flanders. So I'm hoping, though, that they're not going to just sort of be cherry picking certain characters and making them exclusive to those certain size classes. Here's another resident. Of course, here's a regular Homer Simpson, one that would be attending Moe's Tavern quite frequently. Speaking of Moe, there's Moe as well. Let's bring in Otto. And seeing as we did bring in Milhouse, let's might as well bring in Bart. When it comes to his lunch and it comes to his coffee, Lenny never leaves home without them. The figure does come included with both. The figure, first of all, does have a packed bag lunch. I wonder what's inside the packed bag lunch. What was your favorite thing to have as a lunch as a kid? Or maybe now if you're going to work. I know as a kid, I would often get myself like tuna fish sandwiches. I never really liked those things, honestly. I would try to trade them off with some other friend of mine that happened to have Lunchables. And I gotta say, as a kid, if you had Lunchables, we were like the king of the court. Needless to say, that my friend realized how much of a better lunch he had. There's no way you would ever trade a Lunchable for a tuna salad sandwich. Either way, though, the actual bagged lunch looks pretty good. Even though obviously we can't open it up, it's just made of plastic, everybody. But obviously it can also fit into his hands. The figure does have gripped hands on both sides, so it's quite easy, in fact, actually just get them in there. There we go. He does have loose elbows. Oh, does he? Yeah, he does. We're going to kind of talk about that in a second. And then the figure does also come comes included with a very hot cup of coffee. Probably not a good idea to have an open cup like this while you're driving if it happens to spill in your lap. Boy. That I would not say hilarity would proceed. I mean, obviously that would be scolding your prives, and we don't want to have that happen. Of course, the figure does have that. We go ahead and put that into his other hands. And yeah, Lenny's ready to go to work. The only thing about it, though, I have noticed his elbows are a little loose. He's holding his bagged lunch all right now, and he's also doing the same for his coffee. I don't know the longevity of this, though, because it does seem like his elbows are a little loose. Anyways, let's go ahead and just remove those accessories. We'll put them off to the side. I gotta say, I'm actually thrilled the fact we got ourselves a Lenny. I hope that we do eventually get ourselves Carl as well. I would also guess to be willing to bet that we are going to be getting a Moe's Tavern, but as it usually being the case, the Moe's Tavern is probably going to be dedicated to the slightly smaller figures. It just makes things from cost standings so much more easier for them to budget out full diorama sets when they're catering more to the smaller characters. Still, though, Lenny looks the part. I think he does certainly look the way he does in the series. Of course, he does have the same shaving issues as Homer. He shaves it quickly off and then just grows back like a weed. Long, slicked back hair. Kind of looks a little bit like Steve Buscemi. I mean, not Steve Buscemi now. Steve Buscemi, we're talking like years ago. If they had cast a live-action Simpsons, I probably would have gone with him. Long nose, kind of looks like a banana. Hey, lady, that's not a banana, that's my nose. Paint's done pretty good. I mean, there's not really much in the way of paint. They've painted the hair, they've painted the front of his stubble, and obviously they've painted the pupils. He always kind of looked, Lenny, that is, always looked like he was ready to fall asleep. Loved his voice also as well. Was that Hank Azaria that did the voice of Lenny? I think it was. As for his outfit, we've got ourselves an olive green shirt, suspenders, and of course he's got the pants being kept up like this. The gray pants look good. I mean, again, like I would imagine they probably would have molded this in gray plastic, would have probably molded this in green plastic, and then only gone in there and painted the suspenders. As you can see, they're painted well on both sides. They've even actually got the little fastener clips as well down below that's going to clip onto his pants. He does have, on the back, you can see the modeling, though, the stamping of where this was assembled. So, I mean, at least if you're getting at, it's going to be on the back of the figure. It's not going to be ruin things by looking at it on the front. And, of course, they've got the painted down below shoes. The shoes, I would imagine, probably would have been molded in black plastic, because so after all, those are separate accessories, separare pieces. And then they've gone and probably would have gone in there and painted the soles. Two bug eyes. It actually kind of looks like, if I turn it kind of like this, it looks like Bugs Bunny's eyes. You see it as well? Okay, I'm not the only one. And then, of course, he does have pegholes on the bottoms of his feet. For Lenny's articulation, his head is only sadly going to be on a swivel. That's all these figures are really going to be getting nowadays. You can't really move it up and down. If you were to move it up and down, you basically would just be ripping it off the ball joint. You'd go, you'd be so sad. And then don't be blaming me. Don't be blaming this guy. I never told you to do that. His arms do rotate, yeah, all the way around. You can bring the arms out at 90 degrees, so you get yourself that T pose going. Again, like his shoulders seem a tad bit loose. Not to the point where if I bring his arm up, his arm's going to go, it's not going to do that, nor is it going to make that awkward noise. However, though, the figure does have a swivel in the bicep, a single hinge only in the elbow, and the hands rotate all the way around. Still, though, I noticed getting Lenny out of the packaging, his elbow is loose on this side, and it seems to be starting developing looseness on this side as well. He has a waist swivel, which is really tight on this figure. I can't even really turn it. So I'm not going to force it. I probably should have even heated this up just prior to hitting record. But there should be a swivel. All the other figures tend to have them. His legs do split out. Not a full Van Damme, mind you, but you can take the legs and move forward. You can move them back. Swivel there at the top of the thigh. That's a much easier thing to swivel than his really tight waist. Then he also has a single hinge in the knee. The lower leg doesn't necessarily rotate, but his feet certainly do. You can rotate them all the way around. You can hinge them up and down. And yeah, would you believe, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. You can ankle pivot them as well. A good looking figure. Like, again, really nice that we get ourselves Lenny. And so early into this wave as well. And of course, to bring back in the residents of Moe's Tavern, there's Homer. I think we are getting ourselves, now I'm drawing, what's his name? Oh, I'm just drawing a blank as to what the character's name is. It's going to come to me. Barney, that's who it was. We're going to be getting a Barney, but as far as I know, like a comic book guy, he's going to be in a smaller scale. Why? I mean, I could see the deep cut characters, maybe releasing them in 2.5. But when it comes to more recognizable characters, the residents, the common residents of Springfield, like a Barney, for example, Barney Gumble should not just be relegated to 2.5. And you say that might just be the case right now, and that down the road there may be plans to release a larger size Barney. Think of just the fact that we got ourselves Ned Flanders in the very first wave of the Jakks Pacific Simpsons. He's not made any other appearances since. Some of the figures seem to be dedicated. Again, we got ourselves Grandpa Simpson. We got Comic Book Guy. Even Ralph. Ralph has only been released so far in a wave 3, and again, that's 2.5. So I'm hoping Jakks Pacific is going to be dedicating having these characters, the more well-established characters, in both waves, not solely just in one. Shame on me. It was Shear. Harry Shear provided the voice of Lenny Leonard. I don't know why I was thinking it was Hank Azaria. Probably just because Hank Azaria voices like almost everybody in the world of Springfield. Harry Shear, though, providing perfectly a voice for Lenny. Of course, he also did the voice of Otto and Montgomery Burns. The thing, though, I like about Lenny is that it's a character that, for all intents and purposes, could have easily made appearances later on in future waves. Yet, though, Jakks Pacific's been doing pretty good when it comes, even though whatever complaints I may have when it comes to the companies sort of handpicking certain characters for certain size classes, I will say, at least for them, they haven't just necessarily released like obscure characters and thrown them into earlier waves. They've done like all the main characters of The Simpsons. I mean, we've already covered off the complete family. And now they're going in there and filling in with all the characters that we recognize. Lenny's one of the more recognizable characters while you're at the nuclear power plant, or, of course, dealing with and going to Moe's Tavern after the fact. A nice-looking figure. Of course, he's right now sipping his hot cup of coffee, making sure, of course, he's not going to spill it all over his prives. If you guys have had the chance to pick up Lenny, yeah, let me know down below in the comment section. The unfortunate thing about Lenny, though, is of the 4 figures that made up this wave, Lenny seemed to be not only the hardest to find, but also the most expensive. Actually, no, that's not true. Marge was pretty expensive along with Maggie. I ended up having to order that one from eBay. Lenny, though, I was able to find at least him on Amazon, and thinking right away, okay, Amazon, he's going to be going for regular retail. No, not at all. In fact, I think like Lenny was going for, would want to say, a little over $40. It was like $40.99 or $41. Way too high, really, when you think about it. but that seemed to be the case. And again, like, my biggest real issue is not only just the fact that they're really plucking certain characters for certain sizes, but that Jakks Pacific still, to this day, will not ship anything to Canada. I mean, I can't go to a Walmart. I can't go to any, like a GameStops, for example, and find readily available Simpsons figures. The only way I can tend to find them is Amazon, eBay, or Facebook selling groups, or sometimes the toy shows as well. They definitely need to improve their distribution because there's Simpsons fans all over the world, not just in the US, certainly here in Canada as well. But what do you guys think of Lenny? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you guys did certainly also enjoy this video, do it a solid and throw it a like. Yeah, if you guys want to stick around for more so. And you know, I certainly do hope so. You can hit that subscribe, you can turn on that bell. And of course, the most important thing is that you can come back. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.